Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the 17th of September edition of my fantabulous live stream. I am about to end and redo my poll because I was doing it in a rush and it does not work. So hold on. Just let me redo that and then I will get on to the housekeeping. Because why not start another stream off with a goof up? So, hey there, friendlies. How's up? Welcome to the stream where we have bevies, we have blades, and we do on occasion talk about the bushcrafty stuff. I'm starting today's episode off with a poll, and there's a reason for that. One, why not? I've never started with a poll before. I'll leave it up for what, like a half hour maybe, or an hour. So I'm just kicking off my shoes, getting comfy with you peeps. But it's actually spawned by an episode of Whiskey Tribe that went live today. Wasn't Whiskey Tribe, it was Whiskey Vault. It's confusing because they had two channels and they've recently sort of split the channels due to tax purposes. But anyways, let me see if I can find it while I'm talking about it because I found it interesting. Essentially, what he was talking about was that in the early days, his early days, Daniel's early days running the Whiskey Academy, he had been invited by one of the people who was running the academy at that time out for a useless day, I think he called it. And what that was the guys, peeps, whatever, got together. And the only purpose of the day was that you get together, you do not plan the day out. And there are certain rules. You cannot discuss anything task-oriented, right? You can't have a plan that you need to get done. You can't talk about work, right? Or your hustle. You can't talk about, there can be no purpose to the conversation. Let the conversation happen as it may, but the entire purpose is to be useless, right? Just to disconnect from this need that we in North America have of to always be on the go, always be hustling, always be problem solving or doing something active. I'm trying to find the video so that I can just drop it there because I found it interesting. How to be worthless. How to be worthless, not useless, worthless. I'm going to share it. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to drop it in the side chat. And I'm going to get rid of the tracing code that Google adds to all of it. So right click on that, open it in another tab, and tell me if you guys can see that episode. Look, he's reviewing, he's tasting a whiskey, but I mean, the purpose of the Whiskey Vault channel has changed to where he's just talking about something interesting that is in some tertiary way involved in his life as a whiskey sommelier. And he has a bottle that he tastes along with it. It's great stuff. I miss when it was Rex and Daniel together, but they can't do it anymore. So that's it. Tea's a good drink. My whiskey for post 10 o'clock tonight is this. I'm trying to hold it properly. This is a Shelter Point artisanal cask strength single malt, aged 10 years. This is a limited bottle, so I drink it as slowly as I can. It's bottle something of something. But once I'm done, I can't get another one. So I did buy another one. My fiddler was like, "Hey, I found some small store in Saskatchewan and had some." I said, "Grab me one, because I'm going to be sad when that's gone." So yeah, so that's that. That's why I had that poll up, because I'm interested in that kind of question. You know, the vast majority of the people who watch this live stream do hit the woods or live in the woods, in Russell's case, or in, Sean in Alaska's case when he drops by. And like, if you live in the woods, obviously not the same circumstance, right? Like, you do have to get stuff done. You have to, say, finish building a cabin. You have to buy groceries. You have to dig a well, or you have to, dig a latrine, or like, there's always things that you have to do when you live somewhere, rather than you just sort of go somewhere to unhitch. And I wonder, because I hit the woods to get away from everything and to sort of decompress. But really often I feel like pressure to create a video, right? And so that saps a little bit from the, you know, from the relaxation element of the trip. But it doesn't have to be YouTubing, it could be anything, like when I go glamping with the family, I see camping as sitting at your campsite and enjoying, just staring in the fire. My wife sees camping as it's like a base camp from which you can do, okay, well, today we're going to whale watching. Tomorrow we're going to this museum of nautical life or whatever. The next day there's a zoo nearby, right? Like, there are two distinct ways of seeing a campsite. Well, there are more, but like, that's the dichotomy in my family. And so I was just wondering how many of you are on one or the other side of that. Like, okay, we're camping. While we're here, let's shoot a YouTube. Or while we're here, look, we got to teach Cody how to paddle, or excuse me, or, um, I need to take advantage of the forest time to, get my watercolor game up to snuff or something. And or are you the type who just wants to sit there and stare at the campfire? Because I do make sure that I don't ever video an entire trip, right? I do, like, at one point I'm putting down the tools, and I'm just gonna kick back and relax. So it seems that we've gone from like 15 people watching to 8. So I must have pissed somebody off. I'm just gonna see who's kicking back with us. Start off with Jennifer's here. Nice to see you. I hope things are all right at your place. Country Boy thought Jennifer and Country Boy both showed up just before 9, by the way. Country Boy thought there wasn't going to be a live. There is. And by the way, please note that Country Boy is a channel hero and a channel mod. So the other 7 of you, be nice. Yeah, sorry, I redid the poll. There's Canadian. How's it going? How's it going out in your little chunk of the forest? You got Jennifer, and we got Mr. Peanut Trucker. Whole family. That's nice. Nice to see. I saw you were asking if anyone wants to buy a truck. I don't even know, like, how much does it cost to buy a truck? Like, are they like $500,000 or something? No, they're probably not going to be $500,000, but like, they've got to be, like, I don't know why the hell I went for $500,000. There's no way, but they've got to be expensive. They got to be like 100 or 150 or something. Or see, here's the thing: I have no concept. I have no touch point to sort of tap at, like, to get within the ballpark of what one of those things would cost. Because you don't buy the trailer, right? You just buy the cab. So like, what's the going rate on one of those in good condition? Grace Martin in the house. Nice to see you. Okay, we're back up to 10. We're back up to 10 people watching. Nice to see all of you here. But yeah, Chris, that was a question for you because I've been wondering about it since I saw that post you made. It's like, what does one spend to buy a truck like that? And like, what kind of permits do you need to even? Because you're not just going to buy the truck for shifts and giggles, right? You're going to buy it to do business. Like, what do you like? You must need to do exams and get clearances and stuff, right? Just goes to show you that I know nothing about being a road hammer. Hey, there's Jim. Howdy, not out of work yet. That's okay. And thanks for hanging out with us anyway, in whichever way you can. Mark Davidson, also a channel hero. Nice to see you. Has anyone answered? Oh yeah, okay. So some people are answering my poll. Looks like most of you just like to relax. I'm not ending the poll yet, though, people. I'm gonna leave it up till at least 9:30. Maybe, like, if it looks like people are still popping in around 9:30, I'll leave it open a little longer. Everyone's just saying hi to each other. Hey, there's Serge. How are you doing? Serge is a channel mod, so please be nice. We got 2 mods on. Yeah, I like what Canadian says. Camping is meant to be relaxing, not another stress festival. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Just hold on a second. I just want to answer my daughter because she was stressed and then wasn't. There we go. I'm not going to tell you why because it's not my story to tell. But everyone's just saying hi and being so nice to each other. I wonder if we went from 15 people down to 8 because people didn't right click and open that video I posted in another tab. Country Boy says it's not stressful to accomplish tasks in the bush. It's satisfying and makes the sleep even better. Both of you, here's a question for you. All of you, in fact. I want to know this because maybe I didn't think deep enough in the question. Because would you guys see building a lean-to or setting up your tent or gathering wood and setting up so that you're ready for a fire? Would you see that as tasks, or is that part of the process of your relaxation? And it's weird that I didn't think of that because, like, I changed my philosophy around cleaning the tools when I got home to make it conceptually part of the trip rather than part of the aftermath. Because seeing it that way means that I'm not, like, I don't get home and drop the tools and like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Because if I do it tomorrow, something's going to get rusted, right? But I now see, washing, oiling, washing, sharpening, washing, and then oiling my axes or knives. I let it be part of the zen of coming home. I have not yet gotten into the proper headspace to see, unpacking and airing out a tent or the laundry as part of the zen of coming home, but baby steps, right? But so yeah, like, what do you guys think? Because I see what Country Boy says here. I'm getting the feeling that the tasks you're talking about are like fuel in the lantern, set up the Coleman stove or chop some wood, set up the lean-to or the tent or the camping hammock or whatever. And like what other tasks would you need to do unless you've got a YouTube channel to keep going, or maybe you see trail maintenance, right? Maybe it's your hunt camp and you've got to do some trail maintenance for next season kind of thing. I guess I'm wondering, like, it feels like so many people don't really know how to unplug from the hustle. Like, we all know someone who goes on vacation and spends the 2 weeks like thinking about, did I do this at work before leaving? Are they going to be okay with this? And, oh, am I going to get in trouble for getting to do blah, blah, blah? You know what I'm saying? Like, some people just cannot, and I have a major problem with that. I go away on vacation, and at the back of my head, there's still sort of like, what am I going to get back to next Monday? Sorry, I'm already yawning, but I was very under the weather this weekend. I still had to go and do my gigs, so I'm a little tired. Tea's a good drink. But Jerry says, I didn't say the tasks were stressful. I said, you go to the bush to be an OCD maniac, you can't come with me. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I kind of feel this way too, country boy. Like bucking and chopping up firewood and doing that kind of stuff. It's part of the clearing my head. It's part of the trip for me. Canadian is, if you want to go running around like the world's ending, you aren't doing something. If you're not doing something, we can't hang out. Country was like, hey, yo, man, slow down there. Grace says, I have a to-do list. Set up tent and tarp if weather dictates. Get water filtration going. Gather firewood. After that's all done, I can relax. So, like, I have a Canadian goes to the woods to enjoy them, and as do I. Russell's here. How's it going? Russell was here at 9:10. It's now 9:18, so I'm 8 minutes behind. All right. Chris is doing the God's good work, telling everyone to hit the thumbs up. I'm just reloading my my YouTube page to see if I have any thumbs up. So yeah, not too bad. 15 people watching, 16 thumbs ups. Nice. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, you just got back from the Bahamas. Nice. How long were you there for? Oh, were you on who was on a cruise? No, okay. I know one person was. You were on a cruise too, right? Aren't you going on like a million cruises this year, Jerry? Country Boy is also suggesting everyone to hit the thumbs up, although it looks to me like we're doing okay on the thumbs up right now. Okay, so new trucks are $200,000 to $200 to $250 US. Okay, all right. So Country Boy is like $250,000 if you want something worth driving. So $250,000. Okay. Canadians, I figured because a pickup is around 60 G's plus. Yeah, the prices of pickups are way out of control. I mean, they're not that hard to make. I'm not saying that there's nothing there. What I'm saying is, like, the manufacturing is not as hard on most pickups as it is on some of the other cars and that kind of. I really feel that. I think that the pricing for pickups is kind of predatory because at the end of the day, there are people out there who need these things, right? There are people out there who need these things and may need the 4 doors, right? Like may need a king cab or the whatever the other one's called. I just think like a well-appointed pickup could be like a 50. The thing is, I saw some like I don't know if it was an F-150 or something, but I was flipping through something and I saw the $72,000 for a pickup truck. I was like, if you're a rancher, if you're a farmer, actually, it's funny because I know a couple of farmers and none of them have new trucks, so none of them have new tractors either. Christy's here. How's it going? Christy is a channel hero. Oof, I almost deleted that comment by accident. Used trucks are up and down. With the new emissions, everyone wants the old trucks, which drive the truck prices up. Right. Secondhand cars are crazy expensive now, too, because of what's going on in the new car market. Shawnee is a task-oriented camper. So, are you one of those that, sleep at the base camp and then go off to see the local sites? Christy's asking if Chris is still beachside. You're in Arkansas. Funny. Arkansas and Kansas, spelt almost the same way, not pronounced even remotely the same way. Yeah, Canadian says getting the wood ready is part of the camping experience. Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't need to consume you though. I like it though. I mean, it's a bit of a workout, like because I don't chop wood on the regular, so like it can get kind of tiring. But I like it. I like it. I like the exhaustion that comes from doing camp chores all day, and then once I put the sharps away, get the fire lit, and there's nothing dangerous for me to do, crack open a cold one or a whiskey or something to sit by the fire, read, sipping on good stuff into the night. Like not get shift faced, because that's dangerous when you're next to a fire. It could knock over an axe, but just a drink. Drink slowly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Country boy. I completely agree. Mm-hmm. Off-grid. Hi, off-grid. I want to be useless, but I always find myself doing stuff. Yeah. But I just want to sit there with a book. Enjoy the smell of the fire, Country boy. I didn't know you were part of a 4x4 club. So trail maintenance is always part of your relaxation. Okay. That's good to know. Mm-hmm. Christy talks about the housekeeping of the travel trailer to start with. So I haven't camped in a camper trailer in decades. For me, relaxing while camping is sitting either on a blanket or like a folding chair in front of the fire. There's no TV. I try not to bring a radio. There's no plug-in lights. But when you have a trailer, you do have other options open to you, right? Like you can boil up tea or coffee or something on like the little stove inside. Like yours is fairly well appointed, isn't it? If I remember correctly, because you guys just got a new one, right? You and me both, Canadian. You sit up, and then you just sit and love life. Sorry about the chocolate bar, guys. I don't even know why I bought this. I haven't had a chocolate bar in years. Kayaking in Florida and then a cruise. Okay. Where do you kayak in Florida? Like, is it sea kayaking? Because you're not going to kayak through the Everglades, are you? I guess you could. All right. That's finished. End of December and New Year cruises. Oh, and one in April. So many cruises. I guess you like them cruises. Oh, nice. Well, I guess that's between you, your son-in-law, me, and 20 other people. Good old tea. Everyone say hi to Shawnee. Country, look at the price tag of a 1-ton loaded up. It's a rolling mortgage. Ridiculous. My dad likes to keep an eye on the prices of stuff, just out of interest. He's not actively in the market for anything, but he went to an RV show, like those big, the campers and camper wagons, trailers and stuff. And some of those big honking camper, the big honkers that you drive yourself, some of those are a mortgage. Like, absolutely. And I couldn't imagine spending that much. Absolutely couldn't. Hey, Scott. How you doing, Scott? Yeah, I like that avatar of yours. How you doing tonight? How's the weather where you are? It is stinking hot around here. I bet it's not stinking hot around Curmudgeon, Alaska, though. How are you doing? You, how's the weather where you are? Is it starting to get cold yet? Are you guys getting sort of a fall weather thing happening up there yet? Nate Zoinks, shooting in outdoors. Oh, this is Off-Grid Recon's main channel. Okay. Hold on. If I go to my other, can I, yes, I'm going to right-click on your name in YouTube, because I can't do it here in StreamYard, and I will open that in another. No, it's not going to let me. Okay. Yes, it will. Oh, take that, technology. Canadian Indian River. Okay. Curmudgeon says, yes, you can kayak the Everglades. I've done it a few times. I didn't know that. Well, thank you, Nate Zoinks, for adding another thumbs up. I will check out your channel a little bit later. Chris says, I have a hard time relaxing even when I get home after being on the road 3 or 4 weeks. I can't sit down until nighttime. So you have a lot of energy, is what you're saying. I'm very... No, that's not true. I was about to say I'm very energetic, but I'm not. Like, I like to be moving, but like by the time supper's finished, and I've cleaned up the kitchen, if I sit down on the couch, I'm going to fall asleep. Look at all this gray hair. Look at that gray hair. Gray hair all along here. It's tough being over 50. Chris says, yeah, we have all that. A fridge, propane stove, a microwave, but you tend to cook outside on your Blackstone and propane stove in winter and fall. Part of me would like a Blackstone. I saw somebody on, I don't know, TikTok or Instagram, or, they're all the same. Talking about how they care for their Blackstone, and they had like this big honking, it looked like a restaurant grade thing, because it was about the size of my desktop here. And I've only ever seen the smaller ones. I think Chris has a fairly small one. And Christy, I think I've seen a picture of yours, right? Part of me would love one. Just not the part of me that has to pay for everything. Seth says, with the trailer tent, it's just more comfortable when it rains. Most of the time, it's exactly like with a tent. Yeah, we used to have one of those little pop-up ones. It folded out, and that's where the beds were, and then the middle went up, so that it was sort of like this kind of shape. Bugger. Let's do that over here. This kind of shape, right? Like the overhang where you open the beds out and like 2 wheels. Oh, you did a bioluminescent night kayak run. Camille and I swam, went swimming in a bioluminescent lagoon in Jamaica the summer before last, I think. Oh, that was really cool. Very, very cool. 49 and sprinkling. So 49 is what? 32 is 0. So 49 must be like what? 12, 15 degrees? Something like that. Am I even close? Low 80s for Scott. So low 80s is going to be like low 30s, high 20s. I am no good with temperature in freedom units. I think that in the 80s it's going to be hot, though. I think it's going to be like low 30s. Am I right? Does anyone know? Shawnee said, oh, there's an ad going on now. The YouTube page, which is over here, is 30 seconds behind StreamYard. So you guys who had ads had them 30 seconds ago. Waiting for fall. Me too, Shawnee. I love fall. Love fall. It was 26 here today. Yeah, it was something like that here as well. It was gross. Not too bad. I mean, it was worse like last week, well, the weekend, but Curmudgeon says 95% of our trees have turned yellow and a lot have dropped already. I love fall in like an aspen forest where the leaves all sort of turn that light yellow, and with the white trunks, it's just in the sun, gorgeous. Nice temperatures, just love it. Love it. Serge, I have less gray in my beard than you do. Wow. I just have good genes. Moving right along. Yours is a 17-inch Blackstone. Easy to care for, 76 bucks at Walmart. Yeah, I've seen pictures of yours, and I think you did a video where you were cooking on the side of a road on the back of your truck with yours. Is anyone going to try to see the eclipse tonight? I say unto you that it's overcast here, so not me. It's overcast every time there's something cool and celestial over this town, except for the full solar eclipse that we went through last year. I was overjoyed that for once we weren't clouded out, because that's the reality we live in here. Everything. Oh, meteor shower, rainstorms. Come on, just let us have one thing. The universe craps on us because it, just to remind us of our humility, because we're such a great city. Used to love sailing when the bioluminescence were at left cool wakes behind the boats. I used to love sailing, period. Well, I still do. I recently went again for the first time in years. Yeah, Canadian. I saw an ad as well on the YouTube page on the other screen. Full effect is not until 7:44 p.m. so 10:44 my time. Yeah, and then it's not worth it for me to. Gonna go and look at the clouds. Okay, so 49 is like 10. Okay, so 80 freedom is 26, 27. Yeah. Blech. Destiny. Channel hero. Destiny. How you doing? Well, I missed you guys last week. Last week was, so we had at work we had a summit for all the customer experience department in the Americas. So there were many sort of events, many sort of seminars and stuff, and then after the sessions were like company suppers. The whole division or department or whatever went to a restaurant on the Tuesday night, and then the Wednesday, just my team went to another restaurant, and stuff like that. But I'll tell you something. I have a really hard time being social. I get overstimulated way too easily. Like sometimes even just my family does it, I'm going like after 35 years of playing bass, these ears don't work the way they should. So like in large groups, it's just wall of sound. Someone can be talking to me and I'm like, what? And I get exhausted being social. Like every day after work, after being sort of like social with my coworkers, I walk out the door, I sit in my car, and I just sort of like, because it kills me, it saps me. So like I was really tired by the end of that week, and Friday and Saturday I had gigs. My fiddler was in town, so at least it's like, the original band was back together. But man, and then on Sunday there was a birthday party for one of the little cousins. It's just like and so like I'm still tired. Even with nothing else. If I gig on a weekend, I'm kind of a wreck until Wednesday. But So yeah, that's why I missed last week. So I sure as heck wasn't going to miss this week. It was just a bit of a rush to get on. Um, you have a large amount of birch and some aspen tossed in. Only other trees are cottonwood and spruce, small alder and mountain ash. Yeah, I love birch forest. Same thing, right? White trunks, and the leaves go that beautiful color in the fall. I think I prefer birch though, because I do believe that aspens are related to poplars, and I hate poplars. Hate. Uh, so how is Sean in Alaska doing? Asks Destiny. I miss everything. Every now and again, like I drop off the face of the earth in terms of watching the YouTubes, and now I'm wondering what the hell happened. Okay, he's doing fine. That's good to know. Yeah, I saw the Northern Lights back in August while I was gigging in Alberta. It was my first time. Fascinating, enchanting, absolutely. Last night. Okay, nice. Am I caught up? No, I'm not. I'm trying to catch up. I'm skipping past the Sean in Alaska because now I feel like I got to go watch his stuff. So I'm trying not to know. Spoiler alert, right? I'm trying to. Canadian has to fly to Toronto for the day Thursday, and I'm not looking forward to it. I do not love flying. I'm not scared of it or anything. I just don't like it. I would rather take the train 9 times out of 10. Toronto sucks. It has good qualities as well, I imagine. Yeah, poplars are like a gang. Yeah. We have like poplars down a lot of the canal here in town. Oh, I'm sorry, guys, but I'm just wrecked, and I don't love them. I don't like the wood either. Poplar, I don't find is a great wood for working with. Uh-oh. Country boy's computer's giving him trouble. Shifts the bed. It has 0 qualities. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's like to be tired as hell. 21:39. We're almost at whiskey time. Somebody remind me to pour this 10 minutes before 10 because it's a tenure. It's a tenure. It's like a professor. No, shut up, Jesse. Peanut trucker selling country butter use his phone. The problem with using the phone though is I find I can't like at anyone, right? Like, hi, Randance Bushcraft. I'm like, I want to do like, hi, Beto Mansky, but like, it doesn't let me at people. It drives me nuts. Christy will remind me. Thank you, Christy. They got to fix that. Like, there's no reason why you can't at somebody on the phone. Hey, wasn't I supposed to end the poll at like 9:30? Sure. Canadian says it's like New York City, dirty, noisy, and assault on the senses. New York City's more or less so, though. Like, I know that people love New York City and everything, but it's a big, stinky, smelly, big, stinky, messy city for sure. I don't even know what that means, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like when you add someone in the side chat on YouTube, like their name gets highlighted so that they can see that you're talking to them, and I can't get that to work on my phone. Poplars are great as a shelter belt on a huge farm, but in the city their darn roots easily get in the sewer line. Yeah, absolutely, they sure do. Yeah, Canadian doesn't like New York. Yeah, he doesn't like much. You don't like Toronto. You don't like Quebec at all. You don't like New York City. What do you like? If you just say like the forest, I'll be like, A, you suck because that's not what I'm asking. B, I totally agree. Peanut Trucker hates New York City. Never been there and never will go. I don't know. There's a lot to like about New York. But look, the thing is, there's a lot to like about every city. Every city is great and every city sucks. You know, like New York City bagels are terrible in comparison with Montreal bagels, but then Toronto bagels are terrible in comparison with ours too. Toronto and New York bagels are identical. No matter what no matter what the people in either of those cities tell you, their bagels are the same. They're just bread donuts. What the heck? You know, so I have found a lot to like about New York. But no, I'd like to see Austin. I'd like to see Savannah. I'd love to see Yellowknife. I'd really more like to see Whitehorse. You know, I'd like to see Oslo. I'd like to see Stockholm. I've seen Montego Bay. Okay. Hold on a second. I sort of, it looks like okay. Country Boy says, I'm old and blind. I need a big screen. Fair enough. Canadian's been to New York several times. Curmudgeon lived in New York City during 9/11. You will never go back. I had a girlfriend who lived there during that time. In fact, that year, I took her to Paris for a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. We got home. We flew into Montreal. The next morning, she took a plane home and got home early in the morning, went to her apartment, and then that happened that day, and they closed the border. And so it was kind of lucky that she went home when she did, because otherwise she would have been stuck here for a while. But yeah, you know, I know I know a lot of people who lived there during 9/11 because most of them are still there. But you know, it's big event, right? We got Hike with Mike in the house. How's it going, Mike? Sal says, is it 10 before 10? Not yet. Another 6 minutes until 10 to 10. Shawnee says, once I'm on panel, I can't get the @name thing to work in the chat. But if I'm just watching while using the computer, it's handy. But you're always, yeah, that's the thing, right? On the computer, it works. On mobile, it doesn't. It bugs me. You gotta fix that. Excuse me. Destiny says, have you seen those semi-drivers who transport to New York? They're like professional athletes pulling in and out of such tight places. Canadian loves the Caribbean, Texas, Michigan. Let me restate that. Rural Michigan. Yeah, the Caribbean's okay, but I don't give a crap about sun and sand. You do not like big cities. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Hike with Mike was born in NYC. So glad your parents moved you to Florida. But like Florida is full of former New York City people and full of Quebecers who spend like 6 months of the year down there. Austin is weird. If you've been there, you'll forget that. Well, you know, it's sort of, you know, from what I know of Austin, like I've never been there, but playing music, I know people who've been there, and they tend to like it. They sort of see it as the least Texas part of Texas in some ways. Savannah on New Year's when we're there. I would love to see that place. Serge moved away from Montreal and doesn't miss it. Yeah. Apparently Ottawa sucks too. Well, that's because Ottawa's like Washington, right? It's the city that fun forgot. And Washington's the same. And a lot of capitals kind of are. Like if they're in young countries like ours, right? Like London is a capital city, but it's also a huge city. You know, Tokyo is a capital city, but it's also a huge city with a lot happening, you know. I mean, Tokyo gets blown apart by a huge dragon or a whatever on a semi-regular. Wait, I think that's just in movies. Forget that. Curmudgeon spent sailing Florida and the northern parts of the Caribbean. Loved it, but my body no longer can stand the heat. Hence the move to Alaska. Yeah, I don't like heat. I don't like sun and sand. I don't like heat. Oh, you still got your accent? Interesting. Country Boys back in business. Missed a lot trying to keep up on your phone. Yeah, when I'm on my phone, it's the commenting that I can't be bothered to do. I'm just like, nope, can't be arsed. I'll just watch. I'll drop like a comment here and there, but no. Yeah, it gets cold and it is a wet cold. It's a very humid cold. It goes right through your jacket and right into your bones. Absolutely. And it's also a really humid heat in the summer. Like, you're sticking to your bed sheets and you're sort of sit up and oh, please. You've got a fan in the ceiling, but all it does is blow hot air around. You've only been to LaGuardia in New York, but live the Northern Tier. Very different from the city. Yeah, I have a lot of in-laws down there in New York and in Florida and in Haiti. Hike with Mike loves small towns and back roads these days. I like, I have yet to see a part of Vermont that I don't find really nice. I think certain parts of Maine I would probably be really into as well. Sort of like the small town appeal. Because I definitely prefer a small town to a big city. I mean, cities have a lot of stuff that I like, but when it comes to just sort of sitting on the back porch and staring into the woods instead of like a tenement or something, there's no comparison. Is there an October camp planned? I've been trying to, but nothing's coming together. Nothing's coming together right now. Sort of half jokingly told Canadian I'd go and show up on his deck. In 1 minute, Serge, it will be 10 minutes to 10. Austin's slogan is "Keep Austin Weird." That might actually be true. I'm not automatically disbelieving you on that one, actually. Destiny asks, Country Boy, what did you think of Mallow's well digging stick thing? It was an interesting vid for sure. I didn't even watch it. Honeybee is here to lurk. Honeybee, are you having beer, whiskey, or tea? Granted, if Honeybee is here to lurk, he may not actually answer. Destiny, let's see that fun forgot quotable quote entered. Okay, fair enough. 10 to 10. Okay. Now, what I just tried to do is not the way you deal with these glass tops. What you're supposed to do is this. Wait, I didn't do it. Oh, that's interesting. There it is. There it is. Okay. So with these glass tops, right, like trying to pull it off like a cork doesn't work. What you're supposed to do is get your thumb under there and just there, click. Now it comes out. Nobody tells you that. I have disseminated the knowledge. Worship at the feet of at the altar of my vast knowledge. I'm only having one because I do not want to finish this bottle too quickly. When it gets down to there, finish it off. Okay. Many yawns. Sorry, guys. It's currently 9 minutes to 10. Jim is driving home. Jim, it's funny. Whenever you say that, I have this image of you driving along a tree-lined highway. like you might be driving through a massive city, but because of how long it takes you to get home, I always sort of see that late night drive of yours as being through like, along a tree lined highway headed to your home. I have visuals in my head attached to almost everything. Almost everything I remember or I see, even though I've never seen it before, like as a visual image. Virtually everything. Um, Country Boy likes the idea, but he's not sure if the validity. The video was short and inconclusive. Yeah, I guess I should watch it, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm very behind because of the week I just had. Yeah, I was yawning before we even got on. I was like, oh God, can I do it? Of course I can do it. I missed last week. I need this. I need this. You'll be at the cabin this weekend. Nice. Love it. 10 to 10. Yep, I got it. I'm poured. Look at all you guys reminding me. Thanks. They do have stickers saying that in Austin. The thing is, like, I like towns with a kicking like arts or music scene. And Austin used to have, like, I don't know if they still do Austin City Limits, but at one point when that show was on, they made that show there because they had access to so many musical acts and such a vibrant kind of a college town culture. But that always brings interesting bands through. Tea soon whiskey's been had already for you. Okay. I bet you don't have this one. Not yet. Good thing I looked. Clearly it's 5 to 10 now when just reads this. Right now I got it as more 7 to 10. So I mean, we're getting closer. You just keep lining them up and I'll just keep knocking them down. Ticks are really bad this year. Went camping last week and got covered in ticks. Normally you never have issues. Nice. Great. Love ticks. 6 minutes to 10. Travelers hate Austin. There's way too many California people there plugging up the roads. Too many people in a small town with small roads. It's a nightmare. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you've got a town that's sort of attractive to a certain segment of the population. I mean, the worst driving I've ever seen, at one point I would have said was Toronto or here in Montreal, but freaking Alberta, man. Everyone's a cowboy in a big truck. So like there's this spot for that. When we were there in August, I saw a moose strike. It was strangely a small car, which for Alberta is strange as hell. But the car was obliterated. The moose was obliterated too. Like it was missing its head and stuff. But generally, like the stuff I've seen happening in Alberta is crazy making. There was this, you guys know, like where a highway sort of splits off and there's a kind of a meadow in between them. And like, do you know what I'm saying? Like where a highway kind of splits off and there's sometimes just grass, like a grassy knoll or something. So highway splits. The one that I'm on sort of goes under an overpass, and the other one sort of goes and meets the road that's an overpass. And on our road, traffic has slowed to a standstill. And in front of us, there's a Jeep. And I see the guy sort of like, and he just, throws over the wheel and goes right through the meadow, up the hill and onto the other road. And I'm like, I would never have seen that at home. Never. I mean, we do a lot of stupid things, but I'd never have seen that at home. I'm lost. Hold on. Worship at the altar of my vast knowledge entered. Fair enough. Wow. Okay. Jim says there are trees on one side and Lake Huron on the other side. So I wasn't that wrong. Oh yeah, people who move out of California are usually like, like what Elon Musk keeps saying, moving out of California and moving to Texas where everyone's not so crazy, except that all the craziest Californians have done the exact same thing, right? You keep trying to come up here to make Alaska like Cali, they tend to get chased off pretty fast. I'm looking. Have I ever heard of C6 Steve? No. But with a name like that, I do feel a Google search coming on. So just let me pop open another. I'm just doing a search. Like I'll take a American blues musician. He plays mostly personalized guitars and sings usually about his early life. Interesting. I will take a look at that later. I will take a look at that. Interesting looking dude. Got a little ZZ Top thing happening. But yeah. No ticks or fleas in Alaska. That is crazy nice. We never used to have ticks in Quebec at all. And in fact, when they started showing up here, it took the Quebec medical establishment forever to believe that people were getting you guys know exactly what I'm trying to say. Christy's having Maker's Mark. Nice choice. I have an unopened Maker's Mark in the back over there. I haven't gotten around to it. I have so many open bottles that I really can't open another bottle until I've bottled something down. Something's got to go before I start cracking a new bottle. You having a martini made with Hendrix there? Nice. I love a gin martini. Do not love a vodka martini, but that's because I do not love vodka. Oh, excuse me. Hike with Mike loves Curmudgeon, Alaska's channel name. Yeah. I have not, Mike, been to Alaska yet. I would like to. Destiny, driving in Calgary. Yikes. Absolutely. And it's because, like, here and in Toronto, people are just, like, maybe not paying enough attention. But in Calgary, it's like, no, I'm going first. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to watch out because he's not driving up your ass because he hasn't noticed you. He's driving up your ass because he thinks you're in his way. And yeah, he's going 60 in a 40 zone. But how come you're not? Kind of thing. The most aggressive yet I don't know how to say this, but like, I don't feel safe driving in like New York, but it's not actually dangerous. It's just, if someone's going in for that spot, they're going, right? New York is just, they go for it. They're not going to be polite. They're not going to hang back so you can get in there. No, I'm going, but like, I never feel that they're like a misguided missile the way I do in Calgary sometimes, or certain parts of Montreal, certain highways here. Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up here. Destiny says, actually driving on any major highway in Alberta is interesting. I still hate have drivers when the weather is crap and the roads are closed. Talk about it. Yeah, absolutely. He drives awesome quirky instruments. Yeah, the Google map said that the Google search said that he plays customized. So, 3-string guitar. Okay, sounds cool. Oh, he makes them himself. All right, love it. Yes, thank you. Lyme disease. That's what I was looking for. I'm not so good with the words tonight. You only use vodka to cook with. Yeah, it can be good for that. It's just I don't even use it for cooking with. Like all vodka brings to the table, like in terms of cocktails, is octane. Because if you have a good quality vodka, there's no actual taste to it. It's just I got an ad. I just got an ad. It's over. Who else got an ad? Mike says, my open bottles of wine are always used for cooking. I love cooking with wine. Yeah, and the thing with wine is you can't just really leave it in your bar cart the way you can with whiskey, right? Like whiskey that's this full will last years and years and years. It's once it gets down around here that it's going to oxidize fast. But like if you just crack this and it's still up there because you've only ever had one dram, it'll last indefinitely. Wine, not so much. Wine goes off, and it goes off fast. So yeah, use it for cooking. Even better, put like if you only drink a half bottle of wine with supper, pour a cup at a time into little Ziplocs and freeze them so that and when you're cooking and you want a little Chardonnay or a little Pinot, well, you wouldn't cook with Pinot Noir, but a little Shiraz, grab it out of the fridge and throw it in to make your sauce or whatever. Terrific idea. Curmudgeon, Alaska has extra cabins on property. That's nice to know. One day I will travel again. The danglers are what makes them ballsy. Yeah, the truck nuts. I don't know what the hell's up with that. All right, Curmudgeon, Alaska's out to finish cooking supper. See you next week, Curmudgeon. Thanks for hanging out with us and saying such interesting stuff. Country Boy discorded me some pics of his biggest terrain clearing project. Terrain clearing project. I guess if you're telling me this online, I can show it. Let me just see now. Wow, look at that. It's okay. Can't see your license plate. You did that by yourself? Huh. Such a nice part of the country you live in, though. Such nice territory. Now, Chris, when someone cuts in front of you, even without slamming on the brakes, they got to be taking their life into their hands. Like, how long does it take you to, if you got a full trailer, how long does it, like, if you slam on the brakes because someone does something stupid, how far do you keep going before you come to a stop? Because I feel that if somebody does something really dumb within like a car's length of the front of your truck, I feel that they're dead. They may as well just kiss their ass goodbye. Am I right about that? Yeah, trail clearing. Okay. How long did that take? Did you say? I'm scrolling back up. I don't remember if you said how long it took you. I'm looking, but I'm not finding. If I ain't finding, I'm going nuts. Yeah, it doesn't say, but 25 trees in the way of your favorite bush spot. Holy crap. Okay, so Christy and Destiny got ads. Chris did not. Wow. C60 sometimes has John Paul Jones playing bass when he plays live. Interesting. Some killer bass lines then, I'm sure. Like with Mike, avoids cities anytime he can. Scott says, isn't it 3 football fields? I do not remember what I was talking about. I'm sort of coming back up to see if there was a hint. I do not remember what I was talking about. 3 football fields in Canada is further than 3 American football fields, by the way. About 4 hours. Wow, actually 25 trees in 4 hours? That is fast work. Oh, it's after 10. Nobody told me it was after 10 now, did you? Christy came outside to see the lunar eclipse, and there's a possibility you're going to be blocked by your tree. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, 3 football fields to come to a stop. Because I just noticed that Peanut Trucker says, fully loaded, it's a football field to stop. That's why I always see professional drivers give plenty of room in front. Okay. Russell says if you can't see the moon eclipse due to the clouds, he wants them to reschedule it for tomorrow night. Fair enough. Yeah, sorry, Steve. Scott, stopping. Yeah, I don't know why I just totally spaced that, but I did. Now I feel stupid because I've done it in public. Destiny says hi to Russell. Russell replies with high density. Smells good. Smells so nice. And this, the ABV on this is 57.8%. We're going to get that to happen. 57.8%. So, in proof, well, in American proof, you just double that, right? So essentially 116 proof, I guess. Yep. Scott says it's okay. I sometimes have brain farts as well. Yeah. I have them a lot during live streams though. Because I live stream like I've been working all day and then I've been making supper and all the stuff that I complain about way too much. So by the time I sit here, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? After driving for the past 37 years, I can pretty much tell what people are going to do. I drive for multiple people around me all day to keep them safe from themselves. Okay. If you're cruising along, do you have like a one thing that you wish all drivers really knew? Or is it just like a top 10 of things that's like, y'all are going to die? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you have like one thing that if there's nothing else you learn, take this one to heart? Destiny doesn't understand why they don't make semi-only lanes. Yeah, money, but at the same time, the load cargo needs to get to its destination. There have to be trucks-only lanes in some areas. There are a few in town here, not very many, but like especially on bridges and stuff. Or am I mixing that up with no trucks lanes? I wouldn't go to the mats over what I just said there. But I seem to remember seeing something on the road here. Moving right along. Hike with Mike says to Destiny, we have way too much urban sprawl in Florida. Last thing we need is another interstate lane. Serge, yeah, I remember you used to drive delivery, didn't you? You drove and still drive for others, for sure. Yeah. And this, it's funny because technically in Quebec, it's technically illegal to sit in the left lane, except to pass. Oh, Serge is out. All right, good night, Serge. But yeah, I try not to sit in that lane. Because I don't want to drive that fast forever, like for the whole trip, because it's bloody dangerous. But I like to see myself as a good citizen of the roads, Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to end the poll because I'm pretty sure at this point everyone has made a comment. So the question was, when camping, do you see it as freedom to be useless, quote unquote, or do you feel the need to do tasks? 54% of you are like, relax, and 45% are task oriented. Interesting. I guess Mike drives like an old man these days. But yeah, does anyone find that poll result interesting? Or I was gonna say who voted which way, but it doesn't matter. There were 22 votes, and like half came down on one side and half came down on the other. And even for me, like it's a bit of both, right? Because I need to make a video, and then at one point I'm like, I'm not wasting any more of this trip looking at it through the viewfinder of a camera. Tonight I relax. This afternoon I just hike and enjoy the trees. So maybe there should have been a third option there, like a little bit of both, but whatevs. Chris says to hike with Mike, I can tell you Interstate 4 from Tampa to Daytona is the deadliest highway in America. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, Chris. We have left lane laws here too, but the police don't enforce it. That's pretty much up here too. I think that's what's going. I think that's what's happening up here too. Russell thinks the poll question was too open, or maybe I missed it. Was it wilderness camping? Because when I went wilderness camping, all I wanted to do was hike. It was pretty generalist. I also started the episode by saying that, like, I know that if you live in the woods, being in the woods has a different context than if you're, you go camping a couple of times a year. Hold on a second. I don't have time for that right now. Russell says that living in the book. Russell says that living in the woods is the best. I think that would be the best. Absolutely. Nice to know that my sinuses are in revolt again. Love it. Absolutely love it. Man, it's getting hot in here. What else? Honeybee says, I generally try not to be an arse on the roads. One of the many consequences of truck proxy for manhood is that many drivers around us not take everything personally. Oh, you're talking about like the F-150 guys with the lift kit, and if you're in Alberta, the truck nuts hanging off the back. Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because like not everyone in a pickup is like that, right? Some people literally they have a pickup for not just for a lifestyle reason. So like I want to just sort of make it clear that yeah, I'm not putting all truckers in the same basket, but I understand completely. Destiny said driving the 401 wasn't as bad as their reputation, but it was summer and dry. Jim says if you drive from Southwest Michigan to Chicago, you will see 4 lanes of solid trucks, a few spaces for cars. I think that's probably a reality in certain parts of the countries, because Canada too. Like if you're along a major shipping corridor, right? I mean a trucking corridor for sure. Them goods got to get going, right? Russell says the moon thing is happening. Take pictures. Oh no, Chris broke his hatchet cutting wood while smoking the pork last week. That sucks. Did you break the handle? Is it a wooden handled hatchet? If it's a wooden handled hatchet and you shattered the handle, that's fine, because the haft is generally considered to be like the word I'm looking for is a consumable, like the ink in your printer. You will break the handle on your axe, and you will have to replace it. But you just sent me a picture, so I'll take a look. Which of the many communications apps I have did you use? Yes, Honeybee. No surprise. Of course, you knew what I was talking about. I'm looking for where you sent me that picture, and Instagram maybe? Instagram. It must have been. Whoops. Wrong account. Stop it. No, not Instagram. Facebook Messenger. Okay, hold on. Let me check that. Way too many communications methods. And you would have used my Raindance Bushcraft account. Ah, yeah, that's fixable. Just buy another haft. Drill out the top. Old timers would throw the head into the fire and let that burn it out, but I wouldn't. You do run the risk of ruining the temper. I would just drill it. Let's hide the face so it focuses. Come on, fool. There you go. Yeah, so I would just drill in through the eye, just to sort of loosen it up a bit, and then just use anything like a drift and just pound it right out. Take the haft and the head to freaking Reno Depot or whatever Home Hardware or whatever those big box stores are. If you just want to get a haft to get that baby back to working, there's no need to go for something artisanal, and just pound it back on. I've done videos on how to do it. YouTube is full of videos on how to do it. You're fine. You're fine. Hey, Tim's here. Beautiful moonrise, partially eclipsed. I didn't see anything. Country boy had to work the weekend. Everybody's working for the weekend. Ba-ba-da-bum. I guess I technically worked the weekend since I gigged on Friday and Saturday. I mean, it is working. Friday was great. Saturday was okay too. It was a good weekend. Friday was more rowdy, a lot more people dancing. AC/DC or Iron Maiden or someone was playing in town. So after the show at the Bell Center was over, it got quite crowded at the pub. But there's nobody like getting dangerous or being stupid, which was nice. There's a crazy fox in the house. How was Colin tonight? For those of you who are wondering, every now and again, if I ask Fox how Colin is, it's because he does a live stream right before me on Tuesdays. Actually, I don't know how late he goes. So I very rarely have time to check it out, but I know he's streaming too. He's working his butt off to get those numbers up. Tim's getting his long ass lens and tripod. The longest lens I have. Oh no. Crumbs. This is the longest lens I have. I believe it's at 70-200, right? This is a good like sports photographer lens, but for any of the stuff I really like doing, like it's not long enough for a good picture of the moon. It sure as hell ain't long enough for birding, right? Pretty good lens though, and I have it for free. It's on extended loan by a friend of mine who has another one and who works professionally as a photographer. But it's just long enough to be really frustrating because it reminds me that if I had a birding specific lens, I think they're just too expensive, and even these 200s they're heavy enough that's where you have to put it on the tripod, right? You put it on there and it's gonna, there's no way. But like it's good for certain things, but it's not even great for taking pictures of the birds at the end of my backyard, Country boy doesn't get to work for the weekend. He works on the weekends as well as the work week. I'll rest when I'm dead. Haven't seen the woods in 2 years. Yeah, I know what you're saying. But it's, Country Boy, there's something that guys like you and I have to get through our thick skulls, is that hustling for 60 hours of the week or 80. Oh yeah, man, last week I did like 70 hours. That's not a flex. It just keeps us from doing the stuff that we love. It keeps us from doing the stuff that settles the demons in our heads, So I really over the past few years, like when I leave work, I leave work. I don't think about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't even like talking about work on my lunch break anymore, because I really, really do believe that, if someone asks me, hey, what do you do? I always have to preface, you know, I don't say, oh, I'm a tech writer. I say, well, my day job is in documentation. But what do? I make videos about camping, right? Like if I want to, if you want to, and I'm not saying that because I don't like my job. I do like my job. I work for a great company and I enjoy the work. But you can't ignore the fact that we're human resources rather than workers. What do you do with a resource? You use them up, right? Drill, baby, drill. And so I've been working very hard to not define myself by that part of my day. And it can be a big switch for some people. It was a bloody big switch for me, right? So what do I define myself as? I am someone who likes the outdoors and who makes videos. I play bass for a Celtic pop band. I'm the father of 2 great kids. That's it. For my day job, I do X. I always sort of add that prefix, the day job prefix. And I'm not in a position where you have to be hustling all the time, right? I'm not in sales. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing the whole Glengarry Glen Ross thing. I'm, Russell, damn it. The moon's behind Kristen's fucking tree. I love it. Moon's looking good for Cliff. That's great. Looks like a paparazzi lens. Well, that's the thing, right? It's a great lens for sports photography, for photojournalism, right? Where you're in fact, the guy who lent me this lens, he went through Africa with this lens. He was the official photographer for Paul Kagame, for one of his campaigns to become president of Rwanda. And it's great for stuff like that. It's absolutely great. It is absolutely a legit paparazzi lens. And it's great fun to play with. I mean, getting that kind of zoom is really, it's not bad. Jim sent a grainy pic on Discord of the moon. I will look at if he mentioned it in the side chat, I should probably show everybody. It's just to... Where, damn it, where? In pics? In pics. That's not actually a bad photo, Jim. I just want to make sure your name isn't showing up here. I like the picture-in-picture aspect as well. I look grumpy in that picture, but I always do, so it's not really out of my way. That's not a bad picture. 2 moons there. You're funny. You're funny. Are you commenting on the fact that I'm so damn white? Russell forgot to take the lens cap off. Destiny reminded Russell that we use the term FEPIC for certain things around here. 22, 26. going to slow down on the whiskey because I really don't want to pour 2 of those. Peanut Trucker says that his Samsung has better zoom than Apple, probably a mile or 2. Well, maybe. I mean, this one has a 5x zoom, which is pretty good, but still, it still ain't good enough for birding. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. I'm just sort of getting comfortable here. You know, it's funny because they just released, or did they release? Is it for sale yet or not yet? Pre-orders for the iPhone 16, and it looks great. It looks great. If I had an older phone, I would be like, I'm buying it. But I have an iPhone 15, and I have never been the type who needs to have the latest phone like every single year. I like to drive my phones into the dirt. You know, like I will buy a new phone when I no longer like the YouTube footage I'm getting out of this in comparison with what other iPhone users or phone users are getting. Because there are videos I use this for, and there are videos that I use this for. The camping video where I took my daughters to Yamaska that I put up, what was it, last week or the week before? Probably the week before. That was all on my phone. I brought this thing, but I realized that I'm here to enjoy the moods with my daughters. We're going to be running around. I don't want to be carrying around a camera, mic, tripod. I want the freedom of just being able to go. So that entire video was shot on my iPhone. What do you give up? You give up the bokeh. You see how like I'm in focus, but that's fuzzy. Even today, most phones don't give you like really convincing bokeh. And I do like it. Well, I mean, I went to film school, so of course I like the bokeh. And like, if you like, the more the shallow depth of focus you do, the more the bokeh fuzzes out in the back. Hold on a second. Hey, there's Beto. How's you doing? What? How are you doing? How's up? Your work hours aren't meant to be a flex. It's a means to an end. I hope your means catch up before the end. Oh, country boy. I feel like you and I need to have a drink, over FaceTime or something, and just sort of like complain. Okay, everyone's just started saying hi to Beto. I'll pour one more. But yeah, I country boy. I'm more thinking about guys who are like, yeah, man, I worked so many hours last week. I go. It's like, get a hobby, like you, I'm also, I think, working towards an end. And I worry sometimes, less now. I used to worry when I was working my butt off because I was a freelancer and I was just trying to make the ends meet. But two couples that my mom knew, these guys, the husbands worked their ass off so that they could get to the retirement, and then they could spend, then them and their wives could spend their retirement years together traveling and blah blah blah. And both of these guys just sort of dropped dead after work was over. I was like, God. Peanut Trucker. Yeah, you're a trucker though, dude. I mean, that's a mitigating circumstance if ever I heard one. Christy, Russell needs you to move that tree because he can't see the moon until you do. But Chris, you get time to kick back and watch TV and watch live streams and stuff. I mean, you're not. See, I don't know how it works. I don't know a damn thing about what you do. I have just like this layman's view. Like, do you take the time to unhitch? I don't mean unhitch from the, you know what I'm saying, like to disconnect from work at the end of the day, or do you feel that you're just sort of working the whole time? Because that was one of the problems with me as a freelancer, working in my basement or whatever. Like, I would just forget to eat. I wouldn't stop at 6. I would just keep on going until the wee hours sometimes. It was no good for my head, Well, I think Christy's tree, although it's buggering Russell up, is leaving her alone at this point. Like, yeah, there's the thing, Destiny. Do you work Monday to Saturday? Like, do you work the weekends, or like, how does it work? Like, how much time can you spend in truck stops? Oh, I see. Okay. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. You work 12 on, 12 off. You have 11 hours to drive in a 14-hour period. Okay. And I guess you have like sort of a schedule of where you're expected to be by a certain time on a certain day. Country boy, I would not make you look like a slacker. I am absolutely, and I'm lucky enough that I work for a boss, well, and a company that unless you're in one of the departments that works odd hours, like support or something, you're expected to clock off after a work day. There's no crunch. Now, partly that might be a benefit of essentially owning the market you're in, but there's no crunch. They're very into making sure that nobody's burning out, nobody's going crazy. They throw a lot of money into free support of like legal, financial, or like emotional / psychological. They've got this whole program. They're very into making sure that we stay happy and sane. And part of it is there's no expectation to crunch, which is really nice. I wish more tech companies were like that. Part of me would love to know what it's like to work for a distillery. And I was just drifting there because I have this idle dream of like winning the lottery and opening just a little, like a hobby distillery, put up a cask of 100% rye and a cask of single malt and let them just sit there for 10 years. And in the meantime, just make gin, maybe make other whiskey, like, do 3 years, right? Whatever's the minimum. But never 40% alcohol, 45 and up. It's got to be 45 and up. I have no patience for 40 or 43%. Scott says, in 96, you worked 210 days in a row, 12-hour days, and you also had a part-time job 3 days a week. God, how do you survive that? How did you not end up having a heart attack? Granted, I don't know how old you are. In 96, you might have been 20, but I graduated from high school, from grade 11 in 1991. So in 96, I would have been just starting in, because so after high school, I went to Cégep for 3 years. Oh, you're 63 now, Scott. Okay. I'm not that much younger than you. Well, I'm 11 years younger than you. September 11th was the 1-year anniversary of me losing a music friend to cancer at the ripe old age of like 65, something like that. And, how do you say that? I don't like, people who grew up simply are just like, oh, that person's older. Oh, that what? You're what? You're what? It's like, it doesn't matter. Someone will be running, right? Doing a 5K at the age of 45 and dropped out of a heart attack. I'm just riffing off of, Scott, what were you doing working 210 days in a row, 12-hour days? Country boy. If I worked for a distillery, I'd be dead in 3 months. Fair enough. Fair enough. But yeah, part of me would love to just have a little hobby distillery. I would name it the Rain Dance Distillery. Well, shit, Scott, that's terrible news. What the hell? So random too. That guy's story is just ended. Boom, done. Unfinished page. Oh. Yeah, you notice something about Casey is that, like, everyone around him, from his wife to his son, like, everyone around him just looked exhausted. Like, he must have been so hard to deal with during those days. He probably still is. Because, I mean, he's putting out interesting, high-quality videos day after day after day, and is still energetic enough to just be ragging. Just be like going. His wife looked like she was done. She's just like, I don't have the energy. His son looked like he was just done. Everyone around him. Yeah, good videos, absolutely. Well, interesting videos, I love the fact that when his tripod fell over, he never hid that fact, in Arizona. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Posts a video every day, still works out and runs 10 miles. I don't think he ever slept. Yeah, and I would be too if I was married to that guy. Imagine what life is like. He's probably happy for the peace and quiet when he's out of town. Yeah, you're welcome, Scott. That's terrible news. Last year, I mentioned one Tuesday. As most of you know, that I have been the chair of my school, the elementary school that my current youngest daughter goes to, and eldest daughter went to for, whatever it was, 8 years. I was chair of the governing board for pretty much the whole 8 years. I don't know about this year yet. And last year, I had the rare experience of chairing a governing board meeting 3 days after we lost one of our grade 3 kids to a cancer that specializes in young kids. You never want to live that moment again. You never want to live that night again. And yet, I didn't know this kid well. Thanked the gods that she wasn't one of the kids that my daughter read to during, like, they had this little program where the grade 5s and 6 and 7s read to younger kids. She wasn't one of the ones that my daughter read to. But it's just like that, if everyone's life is a book, then some people will get there. Some people's books end halfway through, with half a page torn out and nothing after that. Sometimes they get taken out by a car, totally random. Sometimes they die in grade 3 of cancer. Such a weird life we live. The truck you shared for sale is a friend of yours. He's 34 and had a stroke, so no more driving for him. Holy crap. The road is hard on people, especially if you don't take care of yourself. I can well imagine that, because you spend whatever it is, 12 hours a day sitting. I would go crazy just sitting for that long. I would have to stop and run laps around the truck or something. But like, how the hell do you maintain a healthy body weight, healthy blood pressure? How do you, how do you do it? Because a stroke at 34, yikes. Coming down the home stretch, people, is 22:42. Or whatever, 10:42, I guess you would say. I'm actually caught up with the... Yeah, Scott says we're born with an expiration date tattooed on us, but you don't know when it is. You can't see that part of yourself. Eat right, says Chris. Drink water and walk as much as you can. Yeah, I knew what he was going for there, Russell. So I plugged it in. I see. Now I'm thinking about death. Stop it, guys. God, what the hell? Scott says, dang spell check. Why? I don't know if it's all spell check or if it's just like Siri, but I never use the word duck when when that phone thinks I'm saying duck. It's like, really, phone? Really? Do you really ducking think I said duck just there? Russell's just trying to be funny, but that's actually an interesting question. Do you guys like piss in an Nalgene or something? Or what? Because I think some trucks, or maybe all, I don't know, or like long haul trucks, I guess, have a sleeping alcove in back, but do you have like a tiny bathroom as well? Cliff says high-grade vegan soup is best. Relaxing and sometimes helps you forget about the day's events. Okay. Yeah. Excuse me. I do love soup, though. Raspberry Rock needs an excellent explanation tattooed on him. Something like, don't mind me, I'm just weird this way. Or hockey pucks. Country Boy's going to write his life story on toilet paper. So many reasons why. Fair enough. All right. All the power to you. It's good to, author with whatever medium you can, I guess. Just start going back. I'm looking to see if Chris has answered that about the bathroom on the truck. Oh, vegan soup is what I've been calling alcohol over the past year. Okay, fair enough. I thought you were telling me about like minestrone, organic minestrone soup or something. I don't even know if minestrone is actually vegan, actually. Russell only saw a partial eclipse. Wow, some of us are sitting in their basements and live streaming instead of looking at eclipses. I'm just letting you know. Some of us are more pages than others. That is true, Scott. I hope that I still have a couple of chapters left in me. Silly thing to say. We never know. We just never know. Just making sure I didn't miss anything in the side chat, because I do often miss something in the side chat, and then I'm like, oh, no! I wonder where Al is. I haven't seen that guy in a minute. This truck has a shower and toilet, but you just stopped to use the bathroom. A lot of new generation drivers pee in bottles and throw them out in parking lots and the side of the road. Really? Okay. That sucks. I mean, I can see like throwing them out in the garbage in a parking lot, but okay. Cliff is popping out to watch the lunar event. Fair enough. Excuse me. What am I looking for? I don't know. It's a mystery. I'm so tired. So tired. So, Chris, where is the shower and toilet? It's in that big box behind the cab. And you can just get into that box, like just going behind your seats, right? Like you don't have to go outside and go in the little door on this side, do you? Like that wouldn't make sense to me. He said businesses keep trucks out because these disgusting drivers litter the parking lots. That is so bad. Really? Apparently, says Country Boy, there's a corner right by work that's littered with sandwich bags full of apple juice. What? Apparently, tonight's lunar event was only a partial for everyone. There's no full lunar eclipse. Like you'd think that these truckers would. I don't know. Interesting. So you just sort of walk back. That's cool. That's cool. It must be nice to sort of walk back and sit down after a long day on the road. Do you hey, holy crap, Kincaid Outdoors in the house. How's it going, mister? Calling in the house. How was your stream tonight? I checked it out for like 5 minutes and then realized how late it was getting. But yeah, so Chris, say you've just pulled into a truck stop or a side of the road or wherever it is that you stop when you're done. You've done your day of driving. You walk back to the box. What's the first thing you do? Because I'm imagining you're done your day. You do food prep. You I don't know. Do you shower and change? Do you like what? You just lie down? Do you watch some Netflix? Like what's the first three things you do after you pull in wherever it is and it's like, okay, the driving has stopped for the day. I'm now on my own time. What are the first three things you do? And like, how often do you have to do groceries? I imagine you've got a small fridge. I mean, there's only one of you, but like, you don't want to get carried away buying fruits and veggies, I'm sure. Because I'm guessing you've got like one of those small fridges. Like I got a beer fridge in there that's only like 3 feet tall. Kincaid wants a pickup camper. Yeah, I like to be camping not inside a vehicle. But I get used to camp in one of those. I told the others that I used to camp in one of those fold out camper trailer things, whatever it's called. Camper trailer? Camp? It's a trailer that while you're driving just looks like a flat box, and then when you arrive, it opens up like this, and those are the beds. They overhang, and then it comes up the middle, so it's kind of shaped like a Thor's hammer, kind of. Thank you. A pop-up camp camper. That's what I'm looking for. Chris says, park paperwork, then go to the back, cook your supper, shower before bed. I Instacart every week for food, make a menu, get it delivered, then prep some food. Cook as you eat. Okay. Jim is asking Chris if Jennifer travels with you. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say probably not. But actually, is there like, can you travel with your wife on occasion, or is there like a rule against it or something? Yeah, my parents had one when I was a kid as well. Colin, one of those pop-ups. Okay, so you try to spend $50 to $60 a week. Okay. So I mean, you can get 3 square meals, but you can't necessarily buy a whole lot of extras for that price. Jim is saying, howdy. What's a tent trailer? Tent trailer, I think. Yes, trailer. That's it. That's it. 10:53. We got 8 more minutes until curtains, and I will sleep well tonight. I gotta tell you guys, I will sleep very well tonight. I'm a wreck, and I'm salty about it. Huh. Is there anything specific you guys want to talk about next week? Yes, she is also a whatever CDL driver is, travels with you once a year. We used to team drive in the 90s. She came off the road in 2000. Okay, so I guess CDL is a truck driver, like a transport. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Commercial driver's license, CDL. Fair enough. Okay. I was waiting for an answer to that. So in Quebec, driver's licenses are numbered. Like the one that we all have is category 5. That's, cars up to, I think, cube vans. Motorcycles are not included in that, of course. Destiny says, bonsoir tout le monde. Until next time, bisous. Good night, Destiny. I will be following shortly. It's 10:54. Jim says it's a chauffeur's driver's license. Oh, I thought he was just being funny. Commercial, my mistake. You have Class A, yeah. In Quebec they're numbered. I think, does Ontario class by letter as well? I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. I just don't know. Everyone is saying goodnight to Destiny. I have not. Yes, I have. So you know what? It's 5 to 11. And I'm really starting to droop off. So I'm thinking I'm gonna shut her down here because I'm just like I just want to knock in shkung de clou, like we say. It's when your head starts to do this. So I'm just gonna shut her down for now. So I'd like every one of you to do yourself and me a favor and be safe, be sane, be healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night.